Hey there, Amy White with Worthy Written Words, and today we're going to be in our Doctrine and Covenants, section 4, really the whole section, but focusing mainly on verse 2. And we're going to be creating this spiritual first responder kit. I'm going to show you these first two steps backwards than I did it because that's a better way to do it. And I just start with some white acrylic paint, and it can be any white acrylic paint. It doesn't have to be the one that I'm showing you. White gesso would also work as well. And I'm putting a light coat over the footnotes of this page. I still want the words to show through. I don't want it to be a super bold white patch, and so I'm just doing it very lightly over the footnotes. If you want to do the lines too, you can. I didn't in this instance because I already put a sticker there first, and that's why I'm going to show you that part next. But to make it go by quick, I use my heat tool to speed the process along and get that nice and dry. And you can see the words still, you can see how it's just a very light coating. Next, I'm going to put these graph stickers in the corners of my page, and I just cut them up where you can naturally see them disappear on the sticker is where I just randomly cut them out so it wouldn't be a blunt cut on the edge. And when that sticker hits the paper, there's no relifting it up and moving it, so be careful when you do that. And then I take the Be a First Spiritual Responder and I lay them out how I want them. And you want to make sure that when you put these down that you leave enough room for the ambulance to go underneath, as well as for any of the die cuts that you want to be on either side of the page. Now these white stickers are repositionable if you do them fairly soon after putting them down. If you leave them there overnight, then they will be pretty stuck to the page, but you can lift them up and realign them for a little bit at first. Next, I'm going to take this wobble and I'm going to peel the top part with the circle and attach that to the back of the ambulance, and then take off the bottom two stickers and put that on the page, and then you can see that it works. And you can also peel that up and realign it if you need to. I ended up doing that a couple times because it was not as straight as I wanted it to be. And then using a glue stick, you can glue on all these die cuts and attach the stickers where they need to go. When adding the graph to the top of the page, most of it is going to get covered. So here I only add a little bit and then I have to add more later. So when you go and put it down, I would just take it as far across the page as you can so you don't have to add more later, but you can also wait. Using a glaze black pen, I'm going to write on these two tags, and I've already cut the rings off. You can see that they're missing there that you have on yours, the jump rings. So on the first one I put on the Lord's, and then the second one I put errand. And this is part of the quote in the sticker that you got, and those need to take a minute to dry before you can move them. And there's two suitcases that come in your kit. You can use either one for the top of your page like this. I ended up switching mine out for the gray one. And then also go ahead and attach your heart and the other symbols to the bottom of your page. I had some plans for mine that didn't work out, and so I didn't attach mine to the very end, but you can go ahead and attach them now so that they're all in place. Next, taking a hot glue gun, I add it to the little felt square, attach the paper clip, and then I just attach it to the back of the patch, leaving it velcroed. Otherwise it might have a harsh, if you take it apart, it might be really harsh. And I put it further up at the top so that it'll slide down farther on my page as opposed to the middle of the back. You can see I switched that to be at the top of the patch. And when that's dry, you can slide it on. For the hardest part, which is the enamels. I did a lot of practice with this, and I recommend you doing the same before you put it on your book. And first you want to tap it really hard to get the enamel at the edge of the spout. And then I imagine that this would be a lot like using glitter glue, but you just don't have the same control that you do with glitter glue. It just doesn't go where you want it to go. It doesn't stay where you want it to stay. So even though I did these plus signs, it was really not easy, and I don't recommend it for a beginner unless you don't really care and you just want to try it and go for it. I ended up outlining these plus signs with a black glaze pen to try and make them look a little bit better. But if you just do the circles, then you don't have to outline them at all, and I think it looks really cute with just dots. On mine, I did plus signs and dots. So I'm giving you the warning here to really practice first. You can also see there's a lot of air bubbles that pop out when you try and use it. And when I did it, it was all the wrong color at first. It came out a much more turquoisey instead of a light blue like it's supposed to. You really have to shake it up really good and even maybe let some of it out and shake it up some more to try and get it to be that light blue color. I ended up going over these maybe 3 times to try and get them the right color. So here, let me show you how you do a dot. It's hard to see because my hand covers it up, but when you let the enamel out, you want to do in a circular motion and then lift up at the very end. And these are my first dots, and so they're not that great, but again, if you practice, you can get them to look really good. And these are meant to replace the stickers that you can buy that are enamels, and they can make like perfectly symmetrical circles if you do it right. So practice, and then give it a go. You need to let that sit overnight to really dry and cure before you shut the pages of your book. So you can come and see what mine look like the next day. They're looking a little rough, those plus signs. So I took my glaze pen and I outlined them to give them just a little more definition. It's really just to clean them up and make them look more like plus signs. And even after doing this, I added a 3rd coat on top, just one more ditch effort to clean them up, and it made them look better. I did the dots just so they would match, but I really don't think you need to outline if you only do dots. I think they look great all by themselves. So I do this, and then I add the rest of my die cuts that I missed, and that's it. Then we're done with this layout. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. It's really fun trying new things, and the wobble was new for me as well as this enamel, and you can get them in all different colors. So we'll see you guys next time. Thanks. Bye.